yes, instead of doing a review, I'm actually going to be giving you my opinion on The Division and what I thought about the game. And yes, it's been out for a little over a week now, almost 2 weeks.
Warning.
But
Hostiles incoming.
I feel as though I can give you kind of an overview of what's been going on and what I think about the game. When I first, like I said, I've made other videos talking about The Division, of whether or not it would be any good, whether or not if I should get, you know, Far Cry Primal or The Division, and of course I went with The Division. I think Far Cry Primal looked like Far Cry Primal looked like a freaking crappy game. Just it's like a reskin. I mean, it looked kind of fun, but just reskin. Anyways, back to the main point. The Division is a very interesting game. It is, I guess, MMORPG. Has a lot of those factors. A lot of different gameplay mechanics that go into it. No, you cannot jump. Sad to say, you can't do that. I'm sorry.
Warning.
There is also no reflection of yourself in, I guess, mirrors or anything that reflects, for that matter. Like any windows, or, you know, car windows, anything of that nature. I did it multiple times. I went by it. I thought this was just in the beta, but it turns out actually in the game as well. So that kind of sucked. Unless you're a vampire who can run in the sunlight.
We are division agents,
Weird.
and we have
But
eliminated the threat to the perimeter.
yes, those
Patching you into
are
our
some
comms
negative
to
things,
direct
and
support
probably
to
the
where we're
things that
needed.
you're like, oh,
That's
okay,
good
this is
news,
great.
but we still
But
got
there's
plenty of
also
bad. Some of
texture
those bastards made
popping
it through and the plant
that kind of
explosives on the
mess
tunnel
up
floodgates.
the game
They're
experience,
trying
I
to get
guess.
out come hell or high
There's
water.
also,
If those bombs go off, you
I
know
guess,
which one
some
we're gonna
lag
get.
when it comes to killing enemies. I've had that experience where I'm blasting away at someone, but nothing is really happening until, bam, they actually end up dying. But yes, it takes a while. But I will say this: it is a fun game. I liked it very much, and I continue to play it. I do not recommend you play this game if you're just kind of like, if you're like bored, if you're like tired, anything like that. Don't play this like that. You actually want to sit down and take your time with this game. I the first time I got this game, I was exhausted. My brother's like, dude, you gotta play this. Play it right now. It's gonna be so much fun. And I tried it. I didn't even last like a while. It was maybe an hour, maybe two or less. To be honest, I was just like, oh my god, I fucking hate this. I'm fucking dying. This is a piece of shit. Fuck this game. And I went to sleep. And I was like, you know what? Maybe this is what I need. I need to go to sleep, wake up the next day, and then play it. And that's exactly what I did. And it was so much more fun. I was more relaxed. I was enjoying it. There was a lot going on within the game. There's a lot of shooting. There is one thing that there's no multiplayer modes. There's not. I mean, you can team up with up to 3 other people, including you. That's 4. But I don't really see kind of like the necessary like skills of something, I guess, where they say, oh, you could play as this type of class, or you could play as this type of class, or you could rearrange
Hostiles
it, mix
inbound
it.
on your position.
Honestly, it's a fucking shooter. It's a shooter game. It's fun. But don't try to make it seem like it's something more than it actually is. I mean, yes, there's multiple enemies that respawn and stuff, and that gets pretty fun and kind of annoying sometimes when you're trying to go through a level and then they freaking appear again. You're like, oh my god, be fucking kidding me! I was just passing through, like, I gotta get to this other point, and all this shit again. But yeah, it has a lot of fun aspects. You get different types of gear, different loot, I guess you could say. And the missions are pretty good, but a lot of them are kind of repetitive. It's the same thing. You're gonna find the same thing over and over again.
Alert.
Don't expect
to
have various types of missions. Of course, you're gonna go kill different types of classes, I guess, of enemies. Some challenging, some not as challenging. I do find myself, you know, getting hurt and dying a few times, but that depends on the types of missions that you're doing. There's some missions that, yeah, you require another person to do it. If you try to do it on your own, you can only get so far. It happened to me multiple times, and I was taken down for that. But yeah, various types of things here. The Dark Zone is probably not as great as I thought it would be, or it doesn't seem as though it can be that much fun. I went there, I fought against high levels, I leveled up in the Dark Zone, but only for the Dark Zone. Uh, so they have the different, leveling system, of course. And it feels like it's missing something. I'm not sure what it is. There's certain things that you can't even get unlocked, or you can't get if you reach level 30 rank. I guess you're supposed to take out these boxes or something. Contaminated stuff out of the Dark Zone, get more points. But I'll be honest with you, it's not that great. I mean, I found myself, loading up some stuff and other people as well, and then you get forms of other AI coming at you. And I didn't really see the point of kind of turning against the other players, or like we weren't turning on each other. It wasn't that kind of like necessity of like, oh, I'm gonna fucking kill you, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. It was like, no, hey, let's extract this. Let's that part was pretty good that we were helping each other out even though we didn't know each other. However, that's the extent of the Dark Zone. There's not many people in the Dark Zone to begin with for you to, fight against, I guess, multiple players. You're kind of left just wondering, what the hell am I supposed to do? I was playing it earlier today, and there didn't seem to be anything interesting. I just went in there. It was empty. There was like nothing going on. And when I did face enemies, there were too high levels, way too high levels for me, and I was just taken out like that. And of course he's like, oh, we'll go with your team and stuff like that. Well, here's the thing. You have to have that team already set up. And if you try joining other people as well, they might be going on different missions. And a lot of people are communicating through mics. So that's another downfall to this, where you can't really hear anybody else talking, or anything like that. So you kind of have to deal with like the fact of like, oh shit, what the fuck are they gonna do? What am I gonna go with them on their freaking mission thing, or am I gonna just try to do my own thing? So that part of the game does need a lot of fixing, as well as seriously have team deathmatches, have something else in this freaking game. I mean, Destiny has that shit. Okay, I know completely different, but people say comparing them the same thing, shooter and all this other stuff. But I mean, freaking Destiny has team deathmatch, has like what capture the flag, has all these different types of modes. And yes, they've been out for a while, but I mean, team deathmatch and stuff like that was in the game, day one. Okay, I mean, freaking have a mode where we can kind of fight each other and make it interesting. And not feel like other people are like so goddamn overpowered. I mean, there's people who go to level 30, and I was just like, what the fuck? You're level 30, dude? And he's like, yeah, man. All that crap from like under level 30 is garbage. They do like hundreds of whatever thousands of damage. But at the end of the day, if I'm not able to kind of have fun or like play other kind of game modes, then what the hell's the point? I'm just gonna go around doing fucking missions and that's it? I mean, it gets boring after a while. And not to mention the fact that, I mean, initially the cleaners are supposed to have like, what, this fucking garbage truck or something, and go out and, taking out people and torching them. I saw one little snippet of it, where you hold square, and then it pops up and it shows like this yellow thing. It's like, oh, we're looking for this guy. Where the hell is he? Blah, blah, blah. He goes, I don't know. Let's just get out of here. And you see the image of the garbage truck, as supposedly it's just there, and you hear the sound of it leaving. But you never see that. You never fucking see anyone doing that kind of shit. It's just kind of ridiculous. That I would think that you would be able to do something like, you would be able to see that to make it more intense, having this kind of like rare encounter, but it's not in there. Hell, the cars, you can't even friggin' open the doors. You can't even scavenge the cars for parts, which is ridiculous because I think you should. I mean, it's like a must. I mean, cars, vehicles, all of them have stuff in them that you should be able to scavenge, even if you're not able to find a lot of things. And I think that's one other aspect that this game needs is more scavenging. Like, what the hell is the point if I'm not able to do that? Why the hell is it like only selected like spots? You should be able to do that for all the vehicles. I mean, I know there's a lot of them, but I mean, you could like whatever your little pulse thing scans them, and it'll be like, oh yeah, there could be something here, or there couldn't be. You know, just search it. It's up to you, but just give us that goddamn option. And not to also mention the lack of enemies. A lot of them, they all look the same. You know, they're all wearing like the same type of gear or whatever, and there's little to no variation in them. Um, and I'm not saying, that, they did a bad job with this game because it is a fun game, but it is lacking a lot. And I don't really see the need, like, I don't feel like this is because post-apocalyptic, well, not really, because, virus outbreak here, but I don't really see an urgency to go save someone, It's like a hostage rescue. Oh, like, is it that urgent? Do I really need to? What happens if I just don't do it? Nothing. You can just go back and do that freaking mission, you know? And yeah, you can redo missions and stuff like that of the main quest. But I don't even know what the fuck is interesting about that, because I'm like, you're learning certain things about like the medical field or whatever, how this virus got out,
Agent, your
and then
playmates
like it
have a
could
sniper
probably
positioned ahead.
mutate.
Keep your eyes
But
open.
there's no evidence of that happening. I mean, you see whatever dead people, you know, like laying down, people getting killed, or whatever the hell. But I don't feel as though there's a sense of urgency to complete something. And the whole concept of the game, well, the story of the game is that when you're trying to find what the hell this virus is, you're trying to help everyone. But there's no urgency. There's no reason for you to be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this and that. And yeah, there's no urgency for that. There's really nothing that it's like it gets you like, okay, I need to do this, I need to build this, it's just kind of okay. I'm taking out people, leveling up. Okay, upgrade this in the base. Okay, that's it. All right, do this again. Try to upgrade the base. Do that, this, back and forth, back and forth. But I mean, that's kind of where it just leaves off. And I just found myself thinking, okay, what more does game kind of have to offer? I'm not sure what I really expected from this game. I mean, I do recommend playing it. It's really fun, and if you're into these types of games, if you're into shooters, it's a really fun game. However, do not, okay, expect this to be that multiplayer experience that you get from other games, such as Battlefield or Call of Duty. Don't expect that. Not even like Ghost Recon when you're playing, with teams and all that. And you have like all these different gaming modes. This doesn't have that. This is literally open world, great, a lot of missions to do, but nothing really interesting or out there to do, which is pretty sad considering that there's so many other RPGs out there, or MMORPGs, whatever you want to call it, that have like interesting missions or interesting stories to tell. But this is kind of like, I don't give a shit. I'm gonna be honest with you, like certain stuff is just like, I'm not even giving a damn. It's just like, oh, I stumbled onto this. Oh, okay. There's really no story that to compel me to want to care, you know? This is just onto you. I mean, and also the fact that, I mean, there is possible way you can go rogue and start killing other players, but that seems like it's a freaking punishment. You're being punished to try and face other people, you know? How the hell is that fun? Like, I don't understand. I mean, I can see like, oh yeah, I'm gonna be a complete, bad guy or whatever and do this. But at the end of the day, it's like, well, what's that? Well, I'm gonna be considered the asshole of this whole situation, you know? And I necessarily don't want that to happen. I want to go and start, and, have like these death battles or something, these team death matches, and we just go at it, and use our weapons or whatever, and use our combat skills to fight each other. But that's not there. I feel like it needs to be there, and maybe hopefully one day it will be, but I'm not holding my breath. Because let's be honest, it is Ubisoft. They do have a tendency of not really doing that well with certain video games. Although, the sales are supposedly good, it feels as though there's a lot missing from this game, and it feels, although it is, kind of like this ravaged New York City, it does feel a lot more empty, and not necessarily in a way of like, it's supposed to feel that way, but it feels as though something is missing, and I can't quite put my finger on it. Maybe it needs something, something else, an urgency. Maybe if they, decided to say, you know what, we're gonna do a scarcity of ammo. You know, there's not much ammo. Like this is the way you can play if you'd like. Where there's not much ammo in this world, and and yeah, it's not an unlimited amount of ammo. I mean, you have limited supply, which means you have to use your weapons more carefully, and that would be really great to have. But I never found that kind of sense of urgency. There's times where I would whatever lose ammo from my assault rifle, but I still have my shotgun and my handgun, you know, my Magnum, and there was never really that sense of like, oh my god, this is like getting really intense. This is, you know, there are times where you face tough enemies. Don't get me wrong, but other than that, there's not much else. Uh, I know it seems like I'm just hating on this game, but this is my honest opinion. So, I mean, if you have a friend who has it, or you can do share play, or just ask to let you borrow it, so you can see for yourself, or go over to this place, or their place, and just play it and see what you think. Um, so if you're definitely thinking about like, oh, should I wait to for other games to come out, or should I get this one? If you're not certain, don't buy it. Go, like I said, try to see if maybe you could rent it or something. I know like there's certain places that do that. I think still do that maybe possibly. Uh, but yeah, if you don't if you're because if you're kind of thinking about that, then just hold off on it and and check out more gameplay of it and see if that's something that you're gonna enjoy. Because the last thing you want to do is get a game that's just gonna sit on your shelf. Just being honest. All right, thank you guys so much for watching, and yeah, I'll catch you guys next time.